Hello and welcome to Think in the Circle. We are going to talk about financing your PhD, and I'm going to focus on three elements: self-financing, thinking about scholarships and studentships, and alternative ways of financing parts of your PhD. So let's get started. Just to remind you that I have organized all my videos and all my advice into one blog. So you can go to blogs.brighton.ac.uk/doctorate, and you can get all the videos from thinking, why should I do a PhD, all the way to succeeding for your interview. There's even alternative videos there about contribution to knowledge, and even a video about Viva success. But this particular page on that blog is full of links of me answering frequent asked questions from students or applicants who are considering doing a PhD. So you might find some of those interesting as well. But let's go back to finance. So the first thing you got to think is about, if you don't have any scholarship or studentship, how can you fund your PhD in the UK in particular? This is a UK-based PhD. And if you go to gov.uk doctoral loan, you can find information about doctoral loans. These have been in the last couple of years, or 2 years now, I think. But you can get up to 26,500 for your PhD study. That would cover your PhD fees and your living expenses, or some of your living expenses. Now, if you're thinking roughly what are PhD fees, they tend to be around £4,500. At the University of Brighton, where I work, there's just under that. Tend to be around 4,400 or so. That means that you could have, if you wanted to be a full-time PhD student, plenty of room there for flexibility for your living expenses. If you're an international student, then the fees are quite higher, in some cases 11, 12,000. But even then, enough flexibility to be able to, you can choose to do it full-time or part-time. The loans are given to students of either study mode. So your decision, how you are going to manage that amount of money to try and see you through those 2 to 3 years. Studying for a PhD is not easy when we're talking finance. It's quite hard for most PhD students, but you can self-finance it. You can do a full-time PhD and work part-time as well, or you can do a part-time PhD and work full-time, and that's another way of financing it. That's how I financed my PhD, worked full-time and then studied part-time. Quite hard, quite demanding on your time, but you don't end up at the end of it with a huge loan that you have to repay. These particular loans you only repay after you start earning a certain amount, so they can be quite useful to you. Next up is scholarships. So I'm going to use the University of Brighton as an example. And if you go to the university that you're interested, and you can look for scholarships, you can find a number of important information. For example, they might be in a partnership with other universities, and they might offer scholarships. I'll use the ESRC, that's one of our research councils in the UK. And this is our particular a training partnership, a doctoral training partnership that we are part of, and deadlines just passed, but it's a good example to show you how, if you go there, you can see information about different projects. And some of these scholarships are changing, and they can be student focused, where you have to write a project, but quite often they can be a specific project with specific parameters, and you have to apply for it. And if we go back, you can see a number of research council, depending on what you want to do in the social sciences or STEM subjects. You could have scholarships from TECHNE, the Science and Engineering in Arts, Heritage and Archaeology, EPSRC, and so forth. You can also, if you look at your university, you might be able to get what a lot of universities have, alumni postgraduate scholarships. For example, in our university, any of our alumni, if they've studied an undergraduate or a postgraduate taught degree, would get up to £2,500. So when you think about it, your PhD is minimized to around 2,000 a year, which is quite manageable. Now, if you are an international student in our university, we're still waiting for the academic year 21-22 to find out about international scholarships. But normally, we also offer international scholarships. So you can have a look and keep an eye out for the university you're interested if they have international scholarships. They tend to be quite competitive, all these scholarships. The alumni scholarship in our case is pretty much automatic. If you're an alumni, you're getting the scholarship. And another one that you might want to consider is the third area of scholarships is this alternative guide to postgraduate funding. Now, if you are a member, if you're a student in a university which are a member and they've paid membership to the alternative funding guide, you get full access. If you're not, then if you go there, it's postgraduate-funding.com. They will tell you how you can get access to this guide. It's a very minimal fee that they're charging. But what they have is they have over 500 different charities from memory, where you can see whether a particular charity might fund either part of your PhD, or in some cases, some charities might fund your full PhD. You have to look also at charities from your own country, and quite often there will be a number of charities that will offer funding for any level of university study, including PhD. And I've certainly come across charities in Greece, where I come from, some students from Italy, and also some international students who had funding from their country, charities from their country. Anyway, that gives you an idea of the three different ways where you can fund. You just be creative and exhaust all the possibilities. Go online, search for scholarships, keep an eye for the scholarships, plan your timing for when you're applying. And if you have targeted specific scholarships, you start getting an idea on the timing of when you need to apply. For example, some of the councils, you gotta get your application ready before the Christmas period and be ready for interviewing around January to February. Other scholarships might be closer towards the end of the springtime. So keep an eye, understand the patterns of those scholarships, if those are what you might try for. I hope that was helpful. As I said, if you wish to find more information, you can always go to my blog, where I've tried to, as soon as I get the more information I get, I put them there. And this video will also be here in the videos for PhD and doctorate applicants. Good luck, and I wish you all the best.